Hello everyone, welcome back to the Gaming Droid and welcome back to how to do a very cheap green screen. Well, welcome to how to do a very cheap green screen. This is just going to be a quick video to show you how I've set up a very cheap green screen. There is an artifact there, but I will sort that out later. You can see that if I just straighten the material's got a crease in it. So if I just straighten the material, the artifact goes away. That's because the material's picking up light reflecting from the window. So I just need to deal with that crease in the material. But I'm going to show you how to set up a green screen. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to have a video capture device. And this is going to be what's called a frame green screen or a Facecam or a headshot green screen. So this isn't going to be a full body green screen. This is going to be a very cheap green screen for YouTubers who are doing Facecam. So what you need is you need your Facecam device, which as you can see I have. And this is at this particular point in time video capture, and you want to set up filters. Now what you want to set up for your filters is you want to set up a chroma key here, and as you can see we have a few settings. We have the color type. You want to set this to the color of your background, and the best color background to have is a green screen, is green, hence the term green screen, because green is the least included in other materials. Blue screens you can start to get issues with eyes, other things like that, but you can have blue, green, magenta and custom. I don't recommend custom. Custom is fiddly as all hell. But as you can see we have similarity here. Now the similarity basically means how close does this colour have to be to the predetermined green screen colour for me to start blacking it out. So if I start to drop this down, you'll see that the edges of my green screen can't start to come in, and because this green screen is too light a colour, this green screen is too light coloured, and you can actually see there's the crease in the fabric that if I pull it straight disappears. But because this green screen is true lighter colour, then at where it should be, which is about 100 similarity, you can still see the whole green screen. But if I up this slowly, once I get to about 300, we'll start to see bits disappearing. And as we go up, more and more disappears. And as we go up higher, more and more disappears. Now the problem is if you set this too high, then you're going to start having yourself disappear, and that's really creepy looking. Because it's looking for colours that are so similar to the green screen that it's just picking up on the very slight amount of green in skin, things like that. So about 450 is a decent number. You can go a little bit high, you can go a little bit lower, 350 is fine. Now smoothness basically determines how much edge smoothing there's going to be. Now set it up to about, personally I'd set it to about 30 edge smoothness. You can see that if I set it to 0 we've got this little speckling around the edge of the screen here, and around me as well. But if I set this up to around 30, you can see that it just smooths this out and the speckling becomes less significant. If I set it up too high, it starts to come across me and actually affect me as well, and actually sort of spread the green screen effect. So we want it, let's say 35. 35, it's not affecting my shirt, it's not affecting my skin, it's not affecting my hair, but it's just evening out these edges around here. Colour spill reduction, this basically reduces the amount of colour spill. If I set this down to nothing, you can see that there's a slight, very slight green edge around me. But if I ramp this up, then basically it's going to take a little bit of that colour spill away. Now if I take it up too high, it's going to turn me black and white because it's basically a saturation control. But if I have this set up to around 20, then it's just going to take that green edge. Don't worry about the flashing, that's just because the camera's getting confused because I'm putting a lot of filters through it very quickly. That will just take the green edge off my skin. Now as to contrast, brightness and gamma, these are exactly what you'd expect them to be, and this depends very much on your lighting in the area. How well your lighting is set up and how well your lighting is done and what you want your lighting to be. Contrast will up and increase and decrease the contrast. Because I'm very brightly lit from the one side, I can decrease that a little bit. Brightness, exactly what you'd expect, and gamma, exactly what you'd expect. And again, a little bit of flashing from the camera because I'm adjusting things very rapidly through other programs. But that'll settle down eventually. You want to tweak down the gamma a little bit, and tweak up the brightness a little bit. Similarity, let's up the similarity because that little bit there has appeared again. So hopefully, there we go, that's helped remove most of that. And I will, as I said, it's a crease in the fabric, I just need to straighten the crease in the fabric out. So you can see over here that there's this border around here, and over here there isn't. So how did I get rid of this? Well, I held down Alt, and I just pulled the screen inwards. And on OBS Studio, if you hold down Alt and pull the screen inwards, that's actually going to adjust the size of your camera. So this is my green screen setup, and these are my chroma key setups. These are some of the best for a very simple, easy green screen. It will vary dependent on the fabric you have, the lighting you have, things like that. But tweak and play and twiddle, and you know that this is the similarity to colour. The higher you set it, the more colours it's going to pick up on. This is the smoothness, this is how careful it is to round the edges. You want that set quite low, otherwise it's going to start spreading the green screen into yourself. Colour spill reduction just reduces the amount of colour spill you get around your hand. You can still see if I do that I get green flickering and my fingers go weird. You can see that I get green edges around my fingers. That's just going to happen with a cheap green screen, but it's a cheap green screen and it doesn't happen around my face or my teeth or my shoulders when I move, so it doesn't matter that much. Opacity is literally just how much of the camera is visible. You want that set to 100 because you don't want to be semi-translucent, it looks really, really odd. I'll show you what happens if I set myself to 50%, that just looks creepy, to say the least. Contrast, brightness and gamma, you all know what those are standard settings on cameras, you can tweak those. But let me show you the actual frame. So the green screen in this case is a shower curtain which cost me about £5 to purchase. You'd be better off with a fabric that isn't reflective, so you'd be better off with a perhaps some kind of felt or bed sheet would be quite a good one, but I couldn't find a green felt or bed sheet, so I got a shower curtain. And the frame here is made up of PVC trunking for cabling, which I had left over from another project, so I didn't pay for it. But this much PVC trunking comes out at about £4.50. So £5, £4.50, and another £2 for the attachments, which are just hook and loop peg and post picture frame attachments. So peg and post picture frame attachments cut down to the right size because you can cut them down. Each one of these peg and post picture frame attachments, when it's full size, can hold about 3 kilos, and all this together weighs about 100 grams. So we've got 2 upright posts made from trunking, 1 crossbar made from trunking, and then we have our green screen, which is just a sheet of shower curtain, and it's just been folded down to the right size for what I want it for. And then literally it just slides across and sits across the back there. And this fold on this side is getting worse. And there you have a green screen. And you can see that it works perfectly well, and it just requires the chair to be in the right place. Because it's mounted on the back of your chair, you're going to be sitting in front of your computer. It doesn't really matter, because what you're going to do is the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pull yourself up to where you normally play your games, which is going to be about here. If you're one of those people that has the screen really far back and you play with a controller and you've got the massive scene around you, you're going to need a much bigger green screen. So you're going to probably have to invest in those £100 full-size green screens. But this has been a very simple setup for a very small, what they call picture frame or display cam or face cam or face shot or headshot green screen. Those ones set you back about £60 if you buy them on the pop frames. This has been an £11.50 version, and this has been also setting up your green screen camera. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.